What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 8, Episode 7, Humpty Dumped Me. So let's get started with Mahmoud and Nicole. So Julian, Nicole's friend, is still chasing Mahmoud outside in the streets of LA. Mahmoud had left the apartment because Nicole was being just way too disrespectful, and he just needed to decompress. He needed a breather. He needed to get the hell away from her. So he's outside, just wanting some time to himself, and Julian is like right there on him. There was a scene where Mahmoud wanted to cross the street, and Julian was like, "No, Mahmoud, no, you can't cross the street." And I'm like, why can't he cross the street? He's not a child. Julian was treating Mahmoud like a little boy who has never been out by himself ever. It was just really like frustrating for me to watch how Julian was being very patronizing to Mahmoud, treating him like a child, not allowing him to cross the street, as if, Mahmoud doesn't know how to look both ways. Like I said, Mahmoud just wanted time alone, and Julian was like constantly hovering over him, like physically restraining him, keeping him from walking away too far, really treating him like he was a child. And it was just, to me, it was just really unacceptable. Like, Julian, go back inside and go check on your friend Nicole and leave this man alone. He just needed time alone. So Nicole is back inside the apartment. She tells her friends that she's really embarrassed by Mahmoud's behavior. She also says that she regrets her own bad behavior that led to all of this. So she was taking some accountability that things that she may have said or done had led everybody to this really embarrassing moment. So she calls Mahmoud on the phone and she's like, "Where are you?" And he tells her that he's going to go stay at a hotel. He cannot come back to the apartment. And then he tells her, "I don't want to talk to you right now." And he hangs up the phone on her. At this point, I feel like Mahmoud would have slept on the streets, would have slept in a dumpster. He would have slept anywhere other than in that apartment back with Nicole. That's how pissed off Mahmoud was. So it's the next day. Mahmoud calls Nicole from a cafe. The conversation does not go well at all. You would think that, after a night's rest, it's a new day. Let's start all over. Let's start fresh. Let's talk about things. But it doesn't go that way with them, because it never goes that way with them. So she tells him that he's caused nothing but problems for her ever since he landed in the United States. She even goes as far as to say, well, for the past 4 years or however long they've been together, you've been nothing but a problem to me. This is what she tells her husband. And she's also really upset about the $300 that he spent on the hotel. So he says that he's going to, go back to the apartment. He wants to pick up his stuff and that he has no problem paying her back the $300. So Nicole right now is really conflicted about her relationship with Mahmoud. She doesn't know if she wants to work things out with him. She doesn't know if they need to end it. She's really confused. So Mahmoud returns back to the apartment. Now it's just the two of them. He gets his stuff. He is packed up. He is ready to go, to get the hell out of there. He returns her money in cash. He puts it on the counter. He returns the iPhone that she had given him, and he also returns the credit card. And Nicole tells him that, I have another phone that I can give you. And he's like, "Oh, no, don't worry about it. I don't want your phone. Don't need your phone." So then she tries to play the blame game, try to talk about, who caused all of this, whose fault is this, because she says to him, "I just wanted you to meet my friends. That's all that I wanted, but you turned it into something else, and it was really embarrassing for me. My friends were looking forward to me." And Mahmoud is past all of that. He doesn't really care about any of that. He just knows that his wife has no respect for him. His wife embarrassed him in front of other people, and he's done with it, because that's what she's been doing since they got married, since they met. I don't know. She's been very, very disrespectful to him. And so now he's had it. So he takes a suitcase and he gets on the hell out of there. And he told her that he wants a divorce. Before he walked out, he does tell her, "Look, I don't want to talk about nothing with you. I just really want a divorce." And that's where it ended with them. Now, I know at some point he ends up coming back, because we're not at the point yet where the police were called and he was arrested and charged. So I don't know if that's going to be televised or not. If that happened during the filming season or after they were done filming, I don't know. But it seems like for him to have been arrested for DV, they he must have come back to the apartment, and whatever issues that they had were still waiting for them. You know, those issues were still there, percolating. And so nothing really got resolved. So I don't know how this is going to work out. I mean, I think that Mahmoud should definitely go back to Egypt. I think they should definitely divorce each other, because these two people do absolutely nothing to make each other happy. They're constantly miserable with one another. When there are moments of peace, those moments are like literally they last minutes before they start arguing again. Mahmoud and Nicole are a horrible match. They don't need to be together. They do not get along. Before somebody ends up dead, hurt, or in prison, they need to get a divorce. Moving on to Emily and Kobe. So Emily has just stormed away from the group. They're at the nightclub because because Emily and Kobe wanted to treat his friends to an evening out, and it was an opportunity for her to try to get to know his friends better, and for the friends to try to get to know her better. Well, the evening has been a major fail, because somewhere along the way, Emily and his friends got into an argument where the friends were telling Emily that you are not a proper Cameroonian wife, or you're not a proper wife, period, to Kobe, because you're very bossy, you're very mouthy, you don't allow him to be the man in the relationship, you don't allow him to be the leader in the relationship. So Emily got upset because as she was trying to defend herself or explain herself, the friends would not allow her to talk, because they believe that if a man is speaking, a woman should be quiet. So in the midst of Emily trying to defend herself or explain herself, it got really bad. She gets up and she walks away from the table. So Kobe tries to mediate the situation. He just wants his friends and his wife to get along. He feels like he is stuck between two cultures. My opinion about this situation up until this point, I think that if you are in another country, you should go along with the ways of that country. So if the friends are telling Emily, you know, in Cameroon, when a man speaks, you should be quiet. I understand that it goes against everything that Emily believes, everything that she stands for, because she comes from a country where there's we're hoping that there's equality between the races and women can do whatever the hell they want to do and a man shouldn't say anything about it. I understand that. I get that's where she's from. That's where she knows. That's where she understands. But if you're in another country and if it's different, what is so wrong with, allowing his friends to speak, not talk over his friends? I mean, what's the big deal about that? But I don't think that they should that they should disrespect her or, put her down or insult her in any kind of way, because I'm pretty sure Cameroonian men want to love, respect, and cherish their women. So, but if you're in another country, I believe that you should do the ways of that country, even if it's against everything that you believe in, because it just makes it a whole lot easier. I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong about that. Just like with Kobe living in America, he cannot instill Cameroonian beliefs and cultures on Emily because they don't live in Cameroon. Kobe in America should do as they do in America. Emily in Cameroon should do as they do in Cameroon. So Kobe says he feels stuck between his friends and his wife, and Emily. So he goes to talk. He talks to his friends and tells his friends basically that, that's my wife. That's the woman that I chose. That's not going to change. He gets up to go talk to Emily. She's, hidden in some corner somewhere. And he tells his wife that, first, Emily tells him what her problem was with his friends. And her problem was that they were not allowing her to speak. She was like, I just wanted to explain myself, Kobe, but they kept on talking over me. Emily said that she felt attacked. It was 4 dudes against her. And Kobe was like, you shouldn't have felt that way because I'm there with you. I'm not going to allow anything bad to happen to you. So then she agrees to rejoin the group. Kobe's friend Valerie says to Emily that when a man talks, a woman should be quiet. Emily tells them that, well, look, if y'all don't like how I am and y'all think that I'm a bad wife for Kobe because I'm too outspoken, then maybe y'all shouldn't come to our wedding. And so Kobe concurs. He agrees with this. He tells his friends, hey, if y'all can't accept her the way she is, don't bother coming to my wedding. And they get up and they start walking out. And the friends are like, Kobe, Kobe, wait a minute. They want to talk it out with him. And Kobe's like, he ain't got no time for that. So he gets up and he leaves, right? Now, even though I feel like the friends really shouldn't judge what type of wife he chose. They're married. They got kids. There's nothing you can do about it. He's not going to leave his family because his friends don't agree with it. So the friends should just drop that. You've expressed your opinion. He understands where y'all stand. Now let's just drop it. But at the same time, I don't think Kobe should break off his relationship with his lifelong friends. Number one, it's not worth it since he doesn't live in Cameroon. He's not around them all the time. And so the few friends that you have from Cameroon, the friends that grew up with you, that are like brothers to you, you shouldn't destroy that relationship because of whatever's going on here. I don't think it didn't have to get this far. It didn't have to get this bad. But then I understand where Emily's coming from in a way. It's like, well, if they don't respect our relationship, why the hell would they come to our wedding? But I don't think they should have been disinvited. They should not have been disinvited. Kobe should not have tried to like end his friendship or whatever he was doing with his boys. That was not right at all. But then it also wasn't right for them to disrespect the decision that Kobe made to be with Emily and to choose to spend the rest of his life with Emily. So everybody could have behaved a little bit better. People are just too stuck in their own ways. The friends need to let it go. He's with Emily. He's going to be with Emily. Can't nobody change that. Kobe, should have let it go. Don't destroy your friendship with your boys over this one little incident. They're going to think the way they think because that's how they were brought up. Emily, you're in another country. Try to respect the rules and regulations of this other country. I don't know what else to say, but I felt like everybody was putting 20 on 10 and it wasn't worth all of this. Moving on to Ed and Liz. So Ed and Liz are supposed to meet up at this bar to talk about the fact that Ed called off the wedding. Now, Ed is standing 10 toes deep on this. He's not going to waver. He is not going to change his mind because we all know that Ed never really planned to marry Liz to begin with. Now, the only thing that I'm not really clear on is if whether or not Liz was in cahoots with Ed, to play like they're going to get married and then not get married just to be on the show, just for a storyline, or if Ed really did blindside Liz and Liz had no idea that Ed had no intentions of marrying her. Ed never had any intentions of marrying Liz. Never. That's why it's easy for him to call it off. He doesn't love Liz. Ed loves nobody but himself. He doesn't love Liz. He could care less about anything to do with Liz. It's just at that point now where it's like, okay, I've gone as far as I've possibly could go with this storyline. I don't plan on marrying this woman. The only other option would be to leave her at the altar. He doesn't want to be that much of an a-hole. So he's going to go ahead and break it off here and now. So he's supposed to meet up with Liz to have a conversation with her about him calling off the wedding because they have yet to talk about it, the two of them. He's talked to his family about it. Liz has talked to her people about it, but they haven't talked to each other about it. So he's waiting for her at this bar. She ends up calling him and telling him, why the hell do you want to meet me at a bar? That is an inappropriate place for us to have this conversation. And I was just kind of like, why is this inappropriate? Like, I'm not understanding what difference does it make where y'all are at. But I think the reason why she felt like it was inappropriate was because I think I'm not sure, but I think she had her daughter with her and she didn't want her daughter to be in that type of an environment. So Ed was like, okay, if you don't want to come to the bar, let's just talk about it right here on the phone. Well, she didn't want to do that either. So then Ed tells us about all the things that he did for Liz, how he moved across the country for Liz. But y'all moved because you wanted to be closer to your family, Ed. Y'all didn't move based on, Liz, y'all moved based on your decision. You wanted to be closer to your family. Is it in Arkansas that they're at? He says, I moved all the way across the country. I got us a house and I set up Riley's room and I planned all these activities for Riley for the summer. So he goes on and on trying to make himself look like the hero. Ed, nobody cares about that. You moved to Arkansas to be closer to your own damn family. You got the house because what were you supposed to do? Live on the streets? No. So you had to get a place to live for your fiance and her daughter when her daughter is with her. And the fact that you set up Riley's room, I'm pretty sure you didn't do that completely on your own. I'm pretty sure Liz had a lot to do with that as well. So, So he tells her, regardless of where they decide to have this conversation, the relationship is over. He is done. And I'm just thinking to myself, if Liz was really blindsided and she's not in cahoots with him for a storyline, if she was really blindsided, then Ed made her look like a damn fool. Because Liz gave up a really good job in California. She was like part owner of this bar over there. It seemed like this was a job that she really wanted. And it just kind of like fell in her lap when a friend of hers was like, hey, I don't mind us being, co-owners or whatever, or partners in this bar or restaurant, whatever it was. I thought that was a really good job for her. She left all of that behind to go chase Big Ed across the country to go be around his family in Arkansas, and now he's dumping her. I mean, he made her look like a damn fool. He made her look like a complete damn fool. And I'm really embarrassed for Liz if there's any truth to this at all. And it's not just a storyline. Moving on to Manuel and Ashley. So they're on their way to see Manuel's family in Newark, New Jersey. Manuel does not want Ashley to mention anything about her witchiness, witchcraft, witches, none of that. And Ashley tells Manuel that, you can't control me. So they meet the uncle. I'm thinking they're going to meet his whole entire family. Maybe that's still coming up. But I was envisioning like they arrive at this house and like his whole entire, not his whole entire, but the American side of his family, like there's aunts and uncles and cousins and all kinds of people waiting to meet Ashley. But no, they're at a restaurant and they only get to meet his uncle. His one uncle is there. Like, where's the rest of the damn family? So they, he introduces Ashley to his uncle, and the uncle was really, he felt really happy to see Ashley. It was a really good first meeting, and everything is going really, really well. They're having a conversation, whatever, getting to know each other better, until the uncle begins to talk a lot about God. And so the uncle just starts off by saying that, God will help you stay together. God has blessed this marriage, just interjecting a lot of God in their relationship, talking about how, because of God, they're together, because of God, they're going to stay together. The marriage is going to be strong. It's going to be blessed. So he's doing a lot of this religious talk, and it's making Ashley very uncomfortable. So somehow or another, they get on the subject of what Ashley does for a living, I think. And so she talks about how she's into spirituality, how she's into astrology and into tarot card reading. She says all of these things, and she's just dancing around the word witch because, Manuel told her, don't you dare say that word around my people. So she's, just dancing around it, not saying the word witch, doing a really good job in avoiding it. And the uncle, of course, is very confused, doesn't understand any of this. And the uncle is like, well, you do you, but, in this family, we believe in God. Later on that night, they meet up with Ashley's friend, like one of her friends. I think her name was Erin. Erin is also part of the spiritual world. She is a quantum healer and a psychic channeler, and she also speaks light language, whatever the hell that is. So they're sitting there at the bar with, for drinks, and the friend wants to do a reading on Ashley and Manuel. So she does this reading. She starts speaking in this light language and whatever it is that she's doing to them. And then she tells them that the universe, I guess, has told her that the red flag in the relationship is communication. There are issues with communication. They also have trust issues, and they also have a problem letting go of the past. So Manuel concurs. He does admit that, yes, me and Ashley, we do have trust issues because she doesn't trust me. I can go take a short walk and already she's like, who are you talking to? Who did you go meet? Who were you with? And so, yes, we do have trust issues. I'm very upfront with her. I'm honest with her. I don't lie to her, but she still doesn't trust me. And it's really, really frustrating because I'm not doing anything wrong. And so then Ashley's like, well, let me tell you the reasons why I don't trust you. So then she goes into her litany of reasons of why she doesn't trust Manuel, why she has trust issues with him, etc., etc. Then they get into a big blowout fight. Okay, they start going back and forth and they start arguing in front of the friend, and the friend is just like, what the hell did I get myself into? Like, I did not mean it to go this way. So they're arguing, they're cussing each other out. First, Manuel gets up and he leaves, and he comes back. Then Ashley grabs her bag and then she leaves. It was awful. It was really bad. the damn friend opened up the Pandora's box. Like, girl, why are you bringing up trust issues with these people? She must not understand the dynamic of their relationship. You bring up any kind of issue about their relationship, it's gonna go to they're gonna start they're going to start boxing. It's going to go into rounds now. So the friend completely messed it up by bringing up issues in their relationship because they have a lot of unresolved issues. And the reason why they have unresolved issues is because they think that they're solving their problems with sex. They think that, well, as long as we can have sex, then we're good to go. Not understanding that, no, y'all need to deal with y'all's issues, trust issues, communication issues, and y'all need to deal with that head on. The solution is not, humping it out in the public bathroom. The solution is, a therapist or having a conversation or something, but not what y'all are doing. Moving on to Patrick and Thais. So they are in Brazil. They're at the apartment that is owned by Patrick's father, and they pay rent for that apartment. Even though they don't stay at that apartment, they pay the father rent for that apartment, I guess, to have access to it whenever they're in Brazil. So it's their very first night in Brazil, and they're at the apartment. They're trying to unpack, get the baby together, all of this. All of a sudden, Patrick's father, Jose, shows up, and Thais is like, what the hell is he doing here? Because she thought it was just going to be a time for them to decompress and relax, and after this really long trip, she just wanted to relax. So now the father's there. And as soon as the father shows up and meets everybody, plays with the baby, this, that, and the fourth, the father automatically puts Patrick to work. He wants to put him to work. He's like, well, let's get started on painting the walls. And Patrick is like, what? And Thais is like, what? And so, the dad is like, I need you to paint the walls in this apartment. Then I need you to fix the door. He's like, you know what? I have a whole list of things I need you to do. And Thais was like, a list? And then Patrick tries to tell his dad, well, dad, we're really here for a vacation. And I really had no intentions of painting or doing any of that. So the father was like, well, yeah, that's what I need you to do. So we should get started on that pretty soon. Let's try to get started on this tomorrow. And then Patrick was like, I don't know about tomorrow, Dad, but maybe the day after. So then Thais is like, what are you talking about the day? We're not doing that at all. You're not doing any painting while we're here in Brazil. No. You got it all messed up. So the father is still expecting Patrick to help him out. Now, Thais tells us that the reason why Patrick cannot tell his father no is because Patrick is still chasing this ideal relationship between him and his father. So the history of Patrick and his father is that his parents got divorced when he was really young, like about 7 years old. His parents got divorced. His mom moved him across the country, and so he hadn't been around his dad in years. When his dad retired, he ended up living in Brazil. So when Patrick became an adult, he would travel to Brazil, I guess, to reconnect with his dad, and he's still trying to make up for lost time, all those years that he grew up without a father, because his mom, moved them away, and then the father ended up going to Brazil. So he has years and years of not being around his dad. And so Thais says that he's still trying to make up for those lost years, and still trying to build this ideal father-son relationship. And so he can't tell his father no. He wants to always impress his father, and he thinks that if he does all the things that his father wants him to do, then his father's going to be impressed by him. His father's going to be proud of him. So he's still seeking that validation from his father. And, but on the other hand, Thais tells us that the father knows this, that this is what Patrick is seeking, and the father is taking advantage of that. The father is taking advantage of his son's desire to have this close relationship with him. So he puts him to work. So, it's cheap labor or free labor. And, his son's going to take care of everything that needs to be taken care of at that apartment. He doesn't have to pay anybody to do it. So Thais hates this whole entire setup. And that's where that segment ends. Basically, we don't know if Patrick is going to go through with the painting of the apartment and all this and that, and allow his father to use him. Moving on to Alexi and Lauren. So it is the day before Lauren's elective surgery, because she wants to have a full, she calls it a mommy makeover. Okay. After having a baby, you want to nip and tuck a little bit, but she's doing a full 360 lipo, tummy tuck, and breast augmentation. So she's going to get fixed from head to toe. And it's the day before her surgery, so they're going to go for one last consultation with her doctor. And Alexi tells her, hey, it's not too late. If you want to back out, you can still back out of this. Because Alexi's scared to death. He is not prepared for any of this. So they're at the consultation, and the doctor basically explains all the things that are going to be happening. They're going to do like a full tummy tuck. They're going to lipo her arms, her thighs, her whatever, her back, her waist, going to do all this lipo. And they're going to do a tummy tuck, like I said, where they're going to also reconstruct her abdominal muscles and how this is supposed to help with her bladder. And then Lauren is like, oh, yeah, I have bladder issues. So she's really like trying to harp on the fact that this is needed for medical reasons as well as cosmetic. Like she's got bladder issues and this surgery is supposed to solve all of that. So she's really trying to sell Alexi that, hey, this is also needed for my health, not just for me to look good. But we all know that Lauren is doing this because she doesn't think that she looks good enough, doesn't think that she looks hot enough. She wants to go back to the way she was before she started having babies, because we all remember Lauren was like a little itty bitty thing before she ever got pregnant. So she just wants to get back to that. We know that's what it is, girl. We know what time it is. So she's trying to sell Alexi on the fact that she also needs this for medical reasons, girl. Ain't nobody buying it. And then the doctor talks about post-op, like all the work that's going to be required post-op, that she's going to be in the recovery phase for 6 to 8 weeks. She's going to have all of these tubes attached to her to drain the fluid out, because it's really, really imperative that all the fluid gets drained out. And that Alexi is going to have to like keep up with that. He's going to have to measure how much fluid is coming out of her and report that to the doctor when needed. She can't lift anything at all because she can pop a blood vessel, she can pop a suture. So it's like some major stuff that's going to be happening afterward. And so, you know, poor Alexi, he looks like a deer stuck in the headlights, because he's just like, oh my God, yeah, you're going to have to play round the clock 24-hour nurse, plus take care of the kids, plus keep up with the household, because she's going to be laid out for 6 to 8 weeks. So Alexi seems really, really overwhelmed, and he's like, are you really sure you want to do this? And she's looking at him like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and you're going to support me, and that's all there is to it. And he's like, well, you know, I ain't got no choice. No, you don't, Alexi. You absolutely do not. And don't think this is the last time, the last time that it's going to be like this. I'm pretty sure Lauren is going to go back for something else, and something else, and something else. Moving on to Jasmine and Gino. So Jasmine and Gino, they're at the park, and they are, you know, at the park playing with the dog Coco. And Jasmine tells Gino that she recently had a conversation with her mom, and unfortunately, the doctors did find cancerous cells in her mom. And luckily, it's in the very, very early stages, so they're going to be able to take care of her. And she has a really great prospect of being cancer free. And then Gino tells his story about how his mother passed away from cancer, because when her cancer was discovered, she was already in the very late stages of it, so she really had no chance at all. So they talk about that, and in order to lift her spirits, Gino tells her that he wants to celebrate her birthday, because her birthday is going to be coming up soon, and maybe they should go on vacation. So Jasmine suggests going to Miami to see her best friend Leandro. So they get to Miami, and they arrive at Leandro's house, and it's a really nice house. He's renting, and he doesn't own it. He's renting, but it's still a very nice home. It has a beautiful pool, etc., etc. So Jasmine's really excited about this trip, and then Leandro brings out cupcakes to celebrate her birthday, and it's really bittersweet for Jasmine, because normally she celebrates her birthday with her family, her kids, and it's just really hard for her to celebrate it without them. And so it's really sad. Now, the issue between Jasmine and Gino is this whole baby thing, which I think is, you know, I think it's just a storyline. I don't think Gino really cares about having kids. So, you know, there's this whole thing about whether or not Jasmine is going to agree to try to have a baby with Gino, and, you know, whatever. I'm not buying it. they have to have something. Now that she's in America, right, they have to have some type of conflict. And so I guess that's going to be their conflict. They're not going to be on the same page regarding having children. That's it. And that's all. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you do enjoy this content, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.